Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Ashtaprayeshu Padreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namne. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Verse 58. Paricharya Bhagavato Yavatya Purvasevitaha Tamantrasadaye Naiva Prayunjyan Mantramurtaye. One should follow in the footsteps of previous devotees regarding how to worship the Supreme Lord with the prescribed paraphernalia, or one should offer worship within the heart by reciting the mantra to the personal Godhead who is non-different from the mantra. It is recommended here that even if one cannot arrange to worship the forms of the Lord with all recommended paraphernalia, one can simply think about the form of the Lord and mentally offer everything recommended in the Shastras, including flowers, chandana, pulp, conch shell, umbrella, fan, and chamara. One can meditate upon offering and chant the 12-syllable mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Since the mantra and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are non-different, one can worship the form of the Lord with the mantra in the absence of physical paraphernalia. The story of the Brahmana who worshipped the Lord within his mind as related in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, should be consulted in this connection. If paraphernalia is not present physically, one can think of the items and offer them to the deity by chanting the mantra. Such are the liberal and potent facilities in the process of devotional service. Okay, so two things here. One is obviously when there is opportunity, then we have to follow footsteps of previous devotees. So there are rules and regulations, very strict rules and regulations for deity worship. Of course, Vedic way and Pancharatrik way, there's a big difference. Vedic way requires born Brahmanas, and then there are a lot more rules and regulations in the Vedic way as compared to the Pancharatriki Vidhi, which we follow in ISKCON. But even for the Pancharatriki Vidhi, it's not that it can be whimsical. Nectar of devotion. I request all devotees who are especially engaged in deity worship to please go through all the aparadas, seva aparadas listed in Nectar of Devotion. Make sure that we don't do those. Um, we don't become implicated in those because I've told multiple times, seva aparada, if not restricted or if done willingly, will result in nama prada. And nama prada means no progress. We won't make progress. So yeah, there are rules and regulations. We cannot create any rule which is out of the books. Actually, no authorized acharya will do that. So we have to be very careful when we read things in the books and when we see practice which is not in line with the books. We have to understand that we are going wrong. And we have to try and rectify, and we have to have consult with people who are experts in the subject matter, etc. Right, and so that's important. Mm. Of course, we have to remember that we are not going the Vedic way. Vedic way is not possible for us in Kali Yuga. So it is the Pancharatriki Vidhi, but still there are required rules and regulations. And yeah, there is prescribed paraphernalia, like yeah, paraphernalia has to be clean, has to be, it's like we were discussing yesterday. It must be the best what we should offer Krishna in all respects. However, if one doesn't have the required paraphernalia for whatever reason, not that paraphernalia is possible, and like we discussed, we haven't put sufficient effort. No, when it is not possible, one can offer it within the heart. Suppose say we are traveling, we're on a train or something, and we can now mentally do Mangalarti. We can mentally do Darshanarti, etc. So Prabhupada is mentioning about the incident described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu about the mental worship of the Brahmana. You all must be aware. So he wanted to, he was very poor and he didn't have any of the facilities to worship the Supreme Lord. So then he starts mental worship, and then he gets water from all the holy rivers and bathes the Lord, and then does nice abhisheka, and then offers nice clothes and mm, flowers and archana, and everything is done, and then he wants to offer bhoga, and he thinks about cooking sweet rice. Um, and it's very hot, and done with very with lot of love and affection, and then before he wants to offer it to the Lord. Actually, this is another very important thing. When we are offering to the Lord, it should not be too hot. So the devotee is actually, he wants to check how hot is it. Is it okay to offer, or should it be left for some more time for it to cool down? And then he puts his hand mentally into that offering, and then because it's so hard, his finger burns, and he just pulls out the finger, and then he comes out of his mental meditation, mental puja, and then he sees that actually that finger that he had mentally in his uh, meditation he had put into the sweet rice is now become red, showing that actually the Lord accepts. uh, and then, yeah, it says that Vaikuntha, Vishnu and Lakshmi are sitting, and Narayana and Lakshmi are sitting, and Narayana is smiling. And Lakshmi Devi asking that, what happened, my Lord? Why are you smiling? And then he describes, see, my devotee here, uh, he doesn't have required paraphernalia with, but he is offering with so much love and affection that he's that I'm accepting it, and he's also, that mental worship is so real that actually his hand finger burnt. So the Lord is going to accept our, Prabhupada is saying here, such are the liberal and potent facilities. Now we should not misunderstand this word liberal. Liberal doesn't mean whimsical, right? Liberal just means that time, place, circumstance, Krishna will understand. Krishna will understand what it is and accept it accordingly. If there is shortcomings, then we cannot take that as liberal. I'm not doing it up to the required standard, and I'm just thinking, no, 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 Lord is very merciful. Like many devotees say, oh, Gaurnita, yeah, yeah, we can do whatever we want. No, we cannot do whatever we want. So we have to be very careful about this. Um, and yeah, but it is very potent. So there is scope for, uh, yeah, like things like mental worship and all that can be done. And it's all very potent, very, very powerful, because the Lord accepts, because it's all the bhakti mm, of the devotee which matters. So the Lord will accept. Mm. But it's not that we should bring down the standards when not required. As in, when we can follow standards, we should follow standards. When there are certain reasons why we cannot follow standards, yeah, we can take those exceptions. Not necessarily routinely, right? Yeah, as exceptions we can possibly. That, yeah, that process, bhakti process is so liberal, which is not true of Vedic way of deity worship. Very, very strict. Yeah. एवं कायेन मनसा वचसा च मनोगतं चर्यमाणो भगवान् भक्तिमत्परिचर्यया पुंसाममायिनां सम्यग् भजतां भाववर्धनः श्रेयो दिशत्यभिम् अभिमतं यद्धर्मादिषु देहिनाम्. Anyone who thus engages in the devotional service of the Lord seriously and sincerely, again, my favorite words, seriously and sincerely, with his mind, words, and body, and who is fixed in the activities of the prescribed devotional methods, is blessed by the Lord according to his desire. This desire means the desire of the devotee. If a devotee desires material religiosity, dharma, artha, kama, or moksha from the material world, is awarded. Hmm. So that is why Krishna in Bhagavatam also says, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi. Whatever desires devotee has, he will be awarded the results. But he has to engage seriously and sincerely. With kaya vacha manasa, he has to engage. And being fixed in the activities. Fixed in the activities means this stage of nishtha and higher stages. It says bhava vardhanaha. Bhava vardhana. Krishna is bhava vardhana. The Lord who increases the ecstasy of the devotee. So nice. When we engage in service of Krishna, he increases our ecstasy by various means, various ways. He reciprocates with the devotees and increases their ecstasy. So yeah, Lord reciprocates. This is Bhakta Vatsala. We should always remember this. But yeah, sincere, serious. Again, devotion service is so potent that one who renders devotion service can receive whatever he likes as a benediction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Nama Chintamani. Nama is Chintamani. It can give anything. But of course, I mean, again, wanting material desires, etc., while chanting Hare Krishna, one of the apradhas. Nama aprada. But yes, if somebody is really in need, Artho Arthati Jignasu Gnani, if somebody takes up to the process of devotion service seriously and sincerely, and he has some desire that he wants to get fulfilled, Krishna will fulfill. The conditioned souls are very much attached to the material world, very much attached. And thus, by performing religious rites, they want the material benefits known as dharma and artha. Conditioned souls can be attached. Devotees should not be attached because devotees are not supposed to be conditioned souls. Traigunya Vishya Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. We have to become liberated. We have to come to the stage of mukti. What is mukti for a devotee? Anybody wants to answer? What is the meaning of mukti for a devotee?
Service of the Lord.
Okay. Anything else? So Shastra says muktir hitvanyatha rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. Swarupena. When we are situated in our swarupa, which means devotional service, at least starting with dasya, and not anyavilashita shunyam, no other desire, and brahmabhuta prasannatma, which means that he is transcended this mm, no sochati na kangshati, the lamentation of what has happened and desiring something in the future. When a devotee has come to this stage, he is liberated. It's not necessarily Krishna Prema stage. Krishna Prema stage is even further. But simply if we come to Brahma Bhuta and engage in the service of the Lord, we are liberated. And we have to come to this stage. However, yeah, I mean, we can try to resist it, but that's only our loss. Because if this we have to keep reminding ourselves all the time. If we don't come to Brahma Bhuta, then we can't achieve Krishna Prema. Of course, if we don't want Krishna Prema, then there's no problem. We can remain at whatever level we are. But if there is any serious desire to achieve Krishna Prema, then we have to come to Brahmabhuta. We have to come to this liberated state. We have to raise above all these mundane attachments. Why should we why should we focus? Why should we target Krishna Prema? Hmm? Anybody? Why should that be our goal?
To
We can
go
have so
back
many
to
other
Godhead,
goals.
Prabhu.
Huh?
To go back to Godhead.
To go back to Godhead, okay?
Because that is our natural position. That is our
Okay.
natural position.
Okay. What else?
Prabhuji, there is nothing else worth to attain. And
Okay.
that is the highest.
No
Okay.
other state will give us happiness, complete happiness.
Okay.
Because we are spirit souls.
Okay. What about from
Hare Krishna,
Krishna's
Prabhu.
perspective? Nobody is answering from Krishna's perspective. Everybody is thinking about from Jiva's perspective.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think our constitutional position is serving Krishna.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we have to have that, then we have to inculcate Krishna Prema. Otherwise,
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, we will not be fully dedicated to serve Krishna. So that is why we aspire for that.
Okay.
Krishna is unhappy because we left him. We came to the material world. So Krishna will feel complete when when we go back to him, and he will be also satisfied when his own child is coming and serving him personally.
Okay. Somewhat okay. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says that Krishna Prema is Sri Krishna Akarshini. It attracts Krishna. It's the only thing that pleases Krishna. Actually, Krishna in Chaitanya Charitamrita, actually he says even the Vaikuntha Prema is not appealing to him. Vaikuntha Prema. Vaikuntha Prema means with awe and reverence. He says the whole world is worshipping me in awe and reverence, and that doesn't attract me. That doesn't attract me. So the Krishna Prema that we are talking about is spontaneous, loving, devotional service. And the spontaneous devotion, loving devotional service, not in awe and reverence, not in awe and reverence, that attracts Krishna's heart. He's very, very happy with his devotees because he actually wants to become subordinate to his loving devotees. That's his desire. And Krishna doesn't have any desire, but he has desires. So we are desiring, aspiring for Krishna Prema, not because, okay, we are Jiva, our constitutional position is this, we want to go back to Godhead. Okay, all that is correct. It's not that it's not correct. It's correct. But always when we are thinking about Krishna consciousness, we also have to think about Krishna. And Krishna is most pleased. Krishna is happiest. Krishna is Purnathama, super complete. When he is with Vrindavana Vasis, Vrajavasis. And that should be our target because that's the situation that pleases him the most. Somebody might say, okay, I want to go to Vaikuntha. Okay, that's not going to please Krishna. Krishna will say, okay, that's Narayana realm. But if we are talking about Krishna, Goloka, then we have to come to this spontaneous, loving, devotional service, which is called Krishna Prema. Is that okay? See, these concepts have to be very, very paka, clear in our heads. The whole idea of these, reading sessions that I'm doing is these are the fundamentals, the foundation of bhakti. Because if we get these wrong, or if we are not clear about this, then it doesn't actually inspire us. We can get really inspired to dedicate ourselves to Krishna, provided we understand these concepts more clearly. Just imagine Krishna is so pleased. Such bhakti attracts Krishna. Won't we get inspired to get there? Because it absolutely pleases Krishna. So pure devotee means We should always be thinking about what will please Krishna. And Krishna is saying, you achieve Krishna Prema, that is very pleasing to me. Right? So it's a very, very important thing to understand. You want Krishna Prema because it makes Krishna happy for no other reason. Of course, initially we will say, yeah, we want to go back to Godhead. We want to do this, do that, and all. That is more of because we are conditioned, struggling in this miserable material world, and we are looking for an escape. Yes, of course, we have to escape from this nonsense world. But that's not the end of it. That's the Gnanis. That's what the Gnanis, yogis, who are running away. They all are self-centered. Bhaktas are not supposed to be self-centered. Bhaktas are supposed to be Krishna-centered. That is Krishna consciousness, isn't it? Hmm? Always we have to develop this mood. What is it that is going to please Krishna? That should be the guiding light in our life. Because then we will not make mistakes. We will not make mistakes. Viraktaschendriya ratau bhakti yogena bhuyasa tam nirantara bhavena bhajeta vimuktaye. If one is very serious about liberation, if one is very serious about liberation, he must stick to the process of transcendental loving service. See, Prabhupada, Shloka says Bhakti Yogena, by process of devotional service. But Prabhupada is making it clear, saying that what our acharyas expect, what is our path. One is serious, he must stick to the process of transcendental loving service. Prema Bhakti. Engaging 24 hours a day. Look at this. In the highest stage of ecstasy. And he must certainly be aloof from all activities of sense gratification. See, this is not just Narada Muni telling Dhruva Maharaj. This is every guru telling his disciple. Every author, authentic guru, bona fide guru, will tell the same thing to his disciple. Engage 24 hours a day in the highest stage of ecstasy. Be aloof from all activities of sense gratification. And this is what Srila Prabhupada taught. This is what his disciples are teaching. Whether we are learning that or not is up to us. Just imagine this. I'm speaking to so many devotees, and I keep saying that these kind of statements used to unsteady my heart. They used to shake me up, wake me up. Saying that, oh, I want to achieve Krishna Prema. That is very clear in my heart. But then Acharyas are saying for that we have to engage 24 hours a day in the highest stage of ecstasy. Forget about highest stage of ecstasy. First of all, we are not even engaging for 2 + 4 hours. Sometimes 2 hours. Some very fortunate souls, 4 hours. When are we going to take it to 24 hours? Number one. When are we going to take it to 24 hours in the highest stage of ecstasy? So if these things don't prick our heart, then we are not doing proper Shravanam. Then we are just reading this like somebody has written, okay, let me read. If it's possible, I'll follow. Otherwise, yeah, it's okay. Big deal. That's not the idea of this Shravanam. This Shravanam is this effective. These words we cannot just hear from one and, forget about it. So please meditate on this. It has to make us uncomfortable. It has to make us jittery. Saying, what is this? How will this happen? When will this happen? What do I need to do for this? And of course, the initial stage, Narada Muni is saying, one certainly must be aloof from all activities of sense gratification. You know what? All of us have to do, and as an exercise. You don't have to share it with me. You can do it for yourself. and make a list of all activities of sense gratification that you are involved in. And then beside that, you can say willingly, unwillingly. Against each activity of sense gratification, you can say willingly, unwillingly. And then you can make one more note. You can say either is it dovetailed in Krishna consciousness or not dovetailed. So let me explain this. For example, somebody wants to eat nice food. No problem. They want to gratify their tongue. Okay. And I'm willingly dovetailed, which means that I only honor Krishna Prasadam, but I make all kinds of stuff that I like and eat Krishna Prasadam. This is sense gratification for my own desire, but it's okay. So you can make a note saying that yes, willingly engaged in satisfying the tongue, but dovetailed. Some are willingly engaged but not dovetailed, which means they eat outside stuff. So then you can make a list like this, and then see, and then you can talk to other devotees who can guide you, etc., to figure out, saying that okay, now first stage is there any way for the non-dovetailed sense gratification to make, can I dovetail it? Number one. Number two is, can I, what about this unwilling? Why am I engaging in some activity of sense gratification unwillingly? Am I being forced? What is forcing me? Is it situation? Is it people? And then, Sharanagati means Anukulyasa Sankalpaha Pratikulyasa Varjanam. Okay, now what can I do to prevent this unwilling engagement? So like this, I have to do some analysis, then figure out this is where we have to break our heads. Unfortunately, we don't break our heads on these things. We break our heads on material progress, material responsibilities, this and that and all that. Naturally, 24 hours we'll keep thinking about those things. But really, a devotee who is sincere and serious must be worried, must be thinking in these lines. When can we offer, excellent worship to the lordships? How can we give them very nice facility? These kind of things we should. Then we will come to that 24 hours engagement in devotional service. See, one line, one statement. If you can just last verse and this verse, if you can just meditate on these two verses, our life will change. There are different stages of perfection according to different persons' objectives. Generally, people are karmis, or they engage in activities of sense gratification. So if we engage in activities of sense gratification, we can't necessarily call ourselves bhaktas. Above the karmis are the gnanis who are trying to become liberated from material entanglement. Yogis are still more advanced because they meditate on the lotus feet of the Supreme Person of Godhead. But still, the yogis also pretty much want to become liberated only. So that way, even though they are more advanced, their desire is not that advanced. And above all these are the devotees. Above all these, we have to be above the karmi, gnani, yogi. Only then we can call ourselves devotees. What do these devotees do? Simply engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Simply, meaning no other engagement. They simply engage only in this. See, they're situated seriously. Look at this statement, such a, ironical. They are situated seriously on the topmost platform of ecstasy. What would you think? You would think ecstasy means fun, happiness. How can one be serious on the platform of happiness? This is bhakti. This is pure devotion. What do we understand by this? Situated seriously on the topmost platform of ecstasy.
Actually, they were serving the Lord directly.
No, that's not what it is. I don't know why. We should not interpret it beyond what is being written there. Just very simple statement, situated seriously on the topmost platform of ecstasy. You have to explain this sentence. Now, if you say they are directly engaging with the service of the Lord, okay, then What does this mean? Situated seriously on the topmost platform of ecstasy.
Pure devotees.
No, Baba. I mean, just try to explain this statement. What does situated seriously? I want understanding. What does this mean? What would that person be doing?
They're
Not
serious in bhakti, like whatever process they do that gives ecstasy, they are very serious in doing that.
Okay.
Like not do it today and forget it about it tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. Somebody else was also attempting.
Not a single moment he should think about other things except Krishna.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so basically the point is they're very serious about achieving this. Right. First thing is they're very serious about achieving this. So when they come on the topmost platform, they are not going to take any chances about going down. Meaning they want to make sure that they can remain on the topmost platform of ecstasy, and for that they are ready to do anything. They're very serious about that situation, serious about that platform. Means they understand that there is nothing else more important than this, or there's nothing else to achieve in life, or this is the most important thing. Whatever, they're super serious about it. Which means that in our life, what we do is we let situations rule. But in the life of these devotees, no situation can budge them from their seriousness. They'll say, okay, because of this, am I going to die? It's okay. Let me seriously die. In the on the platform of wanting to reach there. So nothing can shake them. Nothing can shake them. They simply, their whole and soul of existence is simply engaging in transcendent loving service. They're very seriously situated. And when they're seriously situated on this pure platform, obviously they're experiencing ecstasy and they don't want to come down from there. Be high forever. That's the idea. So this seriously, see Prabhupada just in two verses. Seriously sincere, seriously sincere. Here Dhruva Maharaj is advised that if he has no desire for sense gratification, then he should directly engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The path of apavarga or liberation begins from the stage called moksha. In this verse, the word vimuktaye for liberation is especially mentioned. If one wants if one wants to be happy within this material world, he may aspire to go to the different material planetary systems where there is a higher standard of sense gratification, but real moksha or liberation is performed without any such desire. This is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by the term Anyabilashita Shunyam, without desire for sense gratification, material sense gratification. For persons who are still inclined to enjoy material life in different stages or on different planets, the stage of liberation in Bhakti Yoga is not recommended. They should do Karma Kanda, right? Or they can even do Bhakti with material desires. But it's not recommended because Bhakti should not be made impure. Only persons who are completely free from the contamination of sense gratification can execute Bhakti Yoga. See, very purely. This is what we should target. Should be completely free from the contamination of sense gratification. We should execute Bhakti Yoga very purely. This is what our acharyas want. Not this mixed business, which has become like today default, unfortunately. The activities on the path of apavarga up to the stages of dharma, artha and kama are meant for sense gratification. But when one comes to the stage of moksha, the impersonalist liberation, the practitioner wants to merge into the existence of the Supreme. But that is also sense gratification. So karma is sense gratification. Gnana is sense gratification. Yoga is also sense gratification. Ashtanga yoga. And when one goes above the stage of liberation, however, he at once becomes one of the associates of the Lord to render transcendental loving service. That is technically called vimukti. For this specific vimukti liberation, Narada Muni recommends that one directly engage himself in devotional service. Mm. So this whole path of devotional service is not for having fun, not for achieving La Puja Pratishtha, not for anything else, but just for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. It should be done very purely. Please remember this. It should be done very purely. And we are not desiring moksha, because pure devotion service only starts at the stage of moksha. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma. Brahmabhuta is moksha, mukti. But here the word vimukti is used. Vimukti means transcendental loving service, stage of Krishna Prema. You want to achieve that, then one has to directly engage. What is directly engage in devotional service? No other path. No karma plus yoga, no gnana plus yoga, no ashtanga yoga plus yoga. Ashtanga, yeah. So this directly engage means, what is this verse in Bhagavad Gita? Patram pushpam phalam toyam, or not patram pushpam. Yat karoshi yad ashnasi yad juhoshi dadasi yat. Yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. What does this verse actually indicate? This verse is actually a karma yoga verse. It's not a bhakti yoga verse. So in that process of karma yoga, where we are saying whatever I do, I offer it to Krishna. Whatever I worship, I offer it to Krishna. Whatever, right? I mean, this is not direct devotion. Direct devotion means first Krishna comes, then everything else comes. Here, everything else comes, then results are going to Krishna. Like that. Meaning, there is some other desire apart from just pleasing Krishna for his pleasure. And that is only direct actions of devotional service. So for practicing devotees who are sincere, serious, like I've been repeating, keep as much as is required for your house. Keep, like Rupa Goswami said, you can keep some more for your future, emergencies, etc. And as much as possible, offer their fruits to Krishna. This is the best we can do in Grihasthashram. And the rest of the time we engage directly in devotional service. So what devotees should do? 5 days is for my livelihood. 6th and 7th day is only for Krishna. Saturday and Sunday should be only for Krishna. Of course, those who are not software, etc., they have to do 6 days, unfortunately. But for those who are software or 5 days of work people, Saturday and Sunday should be only dedicated to Krishna. But I see devotees they do one of the days. The other day they say my home, my work, or my rest. We should figure out all these things, right? I mean, we don't need to take rest so much. What are we, like old people, to take rest? We should be all the time engaged. Yeah, do our duties. What duties will we have? Grocery shopping. Okay, sometimes some function which are mostly avoidable. And then yeah, nothing else is required really. If we are serious, if we want Krishna, then this is the way we have to live. Saturday, Sunday has to be completely dedicated for Krishna. Actually, what devotees are not able to realize is by them mostly giving one day for Krishna, only so much is happening. So many souls are getting mercy. I was just telling devotees saying that, we started this Gita Sar in our centers, and in our Vijayanagar center, we got like more than 200 people attending. 200 people in Kannada. I have never seen such a crowd in Kannada. Right? And it's all because devotees are, during their free time, during the week, somehow they're calling people, encouraging them to come, etc. And for all their sincere effort, Krishna is giving mercy. Right? So I'm saying this is all with some kind of a part-time effort. Just imagine if you can dedicate more time for devotion, how we can change the face of this earth. So many more people can get benefited. And, we have like tens of hundreds of services without devotees. I don't have devotees to execute them. I have a long list of things to be done. Because everybody is busy. Right? And I also feel like, oh yeah, devotees also want to have their own personal time. And just leave it to them. I don't force anybody to say come and do on Saturday, or if you're doing on Saturday, I won't tell people saying that come definitely on Sunday. No, these things have to come from within our heart. We should feel, Arey, what is this? One whole day I did nothing for Krishna. I just took it off for myself. What for? What did I achieve by doing that? Yeah, I mean, you can have one evening, for example, or something to. Actually, I mean, I've gone through all these stages. None of those are really of any use. And the only thing which actually helps us, even in focusing on our material activities, is dedicating more time for Krishna. Actually, that's the only thing which has helped me throughout my life so far. Everything else has been just pulling me down. That's all, materially. Anyway, so this is very nice. Directly engage, spend as much time as is required for Krishna, do everything for Krishna's pleasure, do 24 hours, be serious, seriously engage. Very, these are the kind of instructions that should fix in our, that should remain fixed in our minds. And that's the reason we have to read Prabhupada's purports with a very, sincere intent to change our life, to change our mood. And then yesterday I was talking to a devotee, I don't want to mention his name. And then he was also saying, okay, what future, what should I do? I just said simply desire to do full-time service. Simply desire. We shouldn't think, oh, I can plan all this, I can get out of my job, I can take care of. No, simply desire. Leave the rest to Krishna. Leave the rest to Krishna. At least this is my life's experience so far. Every time in the last 15 years, wherever I've gone is just because of my desire and mercy by Krishna. But the desire also came from where? From reading Prabhupada's books, from associating with those kind of devotees who have that serious, sincere mood. So if you do that, then yes, it is possible. Okay, I'll stop here. Any questions, comments? Should we end? Okay.
Hey, Krishna Prabhu, one basic question.
Yeah, tell me then too.
It's like somewhere we mention Bhagwan, somewhere we mention Ishwar, like Ishwara Parama Krishna and Krishna is Bhagwan Swayam. So is there any basic difference in the words, or it is similar? Like
No,
Bhagwan,
Ishvara. Yeah, Ishvara means controller. Parama Ishvara means supreme controller is Krishna. That Parama Ishvara is Bhagavan. Yes, there is nobody else who is above Bhagavan. He is the supreme controller. Supreme controller is a function. Controlling is a function of, is one of the things that that Bhagavan does. But who is that Bhagavan? Bhagavan, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Bhagavan is the person who has all these Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, he has all the opulences in full. He is Bhagavan. What is his name? His name is Krishna. What does he do? He also is the supreme controller. He controls everything. Is that okay?
okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo ananta koti Vaishnavanda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhu.